Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. Here's my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nisse and today we're gonna take a final look at Future Life Asia, which is our project I've been working for since the last DLC came out. I can't really remember when that was. Sorry, I'm just checking here that everything works as it should. I think it does. I'm just gonna do this. Why won't you work? Sorry, so much tech here, and I'm not a technical genius. Why won't you move? Then, if I do this, yeah. Sorry, I tried to make it work here. Clearly not as good as I should, but I think it works fine now. It's just so I can watch everything on my screen over here at the same time. But let's jump into the game here. I'm so happy to finally make this final zoo tour. It's been a zoo we've been working on for a while. And it is a future life project. As you know, future life projects are very near and dear to me, since they are pretty much the projects where I try to make it a more conservation based. I also did one in Africa, which I sadly didn't finish because it crashed too much. But this I got to finish. First of all, here, before we actually reach the entrance, down here there should be some... Where's the water? This should be filled with water. Why aren't that? Just trying to fix that. And I've been through this entire habitat to make sure that everything worked. And now the game freezes, of course, that helped. There, and it should be tropical water. Why won't you? Okay, we imagine this is tropical water, apparently, since I can't actually click on it anyways. That's weird. Okay, so everything works from start. That's nice. It's actually the same water as the aquarium we have inside our main building, so the fish should be able to fish here or swim out all the way over here, but they actually aren't. I don't know why. I tried to fix it so many times, but it just wouldn't work. On this side we have clearly nothing. And over here you can actually see our a flying gondola ride, or what's it called? I can't really remember what's it called. But you can see that up here, and you can actually see part of the onager habitat where we both have the Persian and the normal onagers over here. And up here you can see the top of the mountain here in the background, where I think it's the moose we can see here moving around. And another moose, and we also have the Siku and Hakin and the Chiru, I think they're called. Keep in mind we used a lot of mods in here. We have all of the individual speed builds on the same playlist as this video goes on. And then we have in the description on every speed build you can see links to my videos on the mods and where to download the mods, and a lot of information about the animals. So here you can see this is the fishies that also should be able to get out there. We don't have as many fish as we did earlier, mainly because the game started to crash a lot, so I get rid of a lot. We still have all of the same species, but we just don't have 5 of each. Instead we have 2. So we have up here, I feel like it's the silver carp and the red Asian arowana. I think it called. Then we have a humped wrasse over here. That one I actually can't remember. It's also a arowana, but I don't remember which one. Here we have the goldfish, and I think it's the common goldfish. I'm not sure why it lies on its back. We have something up there. I think it's also a goldfish. Going over here, I'm actually pretty proud of all of this. Here we have another arowana. And again, the silver carp there. We have a lot more fishes in here actually. I can click here. We have there. We have the Asian arowana, the silver carp, the red-tailed golden arowana. That's the golden one we see over here. Then we have the common goldfish, the humped wrasse, or something like that. Again, that's the biggie one. Then we have the longfin bannerfish. I don't see it anywhere. If you see it, you will know it right away. It's a very, very long fish. And then we have the longfin bannerfish. Doesn't seem to be in the water either. And then the red Asian arowana and the Tasakin goldfish, which is a quite different goldfish. Actually, the fins are very different, and it kind of looks like it's wearing a skirt. It's very beautiful. But since we don't actually have aquariums in Planet Zoo, I had to give it a background where you couldn't go underwater. And that gave us some issues there. So some of them are probably on over water. You can see here some of the signage. We don't have all of the fish on the signage here, to be honest, but we can go up here where we have our restaurant area. I'm just going in here. And that's actually our backstage area over there. You can see a small part of, and you can't actually see over here unless you're a very tall person. Then you can, so you can see that out there we have where they can go and land. But let's go around here, the corner, and then we have our restaurant. And here, of course, we have pictures. I think all of the fishes are here. So we have the Asian arowana. Yeah, I think it's just Asian arowana, that one. And then we have the red thin one. And here we have the longfin bannerfish. And this is the Tosakin, I think it's called. Yeah, Tosakin goldfish. And the humped wrasse. And then this should be the... Oh, we don't have any left. That's why this is black. Then we just put you there. But again, here you can see the fishes from the top. And all of the pretty colors. And we also did all of the corals, of course, that aren't custom corals. I didn't build every single coral here. I did use a blueprint, which is called, I think it's called aquatic plants. I'm not sure. But on that speed build where I built the, I think I made it as a two-parter. So I built this building in one video and then the aquarium in another. And I think over there you were able to see it all. The guests don't really use this restaurant a lot, even though it is free, which I would like them to use. You can see we have one guest now. Oh, we have some coming there. It is a free restaurant. Everything here is free. We live off donations. And that's pretty much because it's such a big place. So whatever we do, we don't want the guests to go home early because they don't have any money. Over here you can see our simongs and bunny and orangutan habitats touch over there. We have our community garden. Then you can see just a little corner here of our emerald leopards. And then over here, of course, we have our ride. And we have our habitat there with the lowland and Noah. Not so Sulawesi babiruska and the giant muntjac, which isn't that big, but it's there. We can also go over here. I don't know why it's so bumpy to walk here. I do apologize for that. I feel like it's something that happens a lot when you have a floor with the pathing system. So here we actually have a backstage area, but I don't think it ruins the view that much. Over there again we have the onagas, both the Persian and normal. Up there again it's the moose and the Sikuantakin and the Chiru. And again a little corner there you can see of the North Sulawesi babiruska, the giant muntjac and the lowland and Noah. Yeah, I've been practicing to remember which animal there are where, but I can't remember all. And this would of course also be a setting that you could rent out. This is a volunteer project where a lot of the staff is volunteer, and we are living on donations to bring animal home to Asia, in a way where we can release either them to the wild later on or their babies to the wild. So therefore we also want big corporate people to bring their staff, be able to use this in a way both to throw some of their massive donation this way, but also to use some of these spaces for a seminar or something like that. I'm thinking I just want to show you here, because one thing is we have the natural light shining in here, but when it's nighttime and you can see the stars here, I think it's quite magical to eat here. As most of you guys know, I am from Denmark, and therefore we have very dark everything most of the year. And therefore it's, or not most of the year, but in the winter we have only a few hours of sun, and therefore we are quite used to using lights a lot. I know especially people that comes from the south and move to Denmark, or from the US and move to Denmark, or even from Asia, are kind of shocked of the amount of living candles we use in Denmark, and just lighting overall, we are quite amazed of it. Over here we have our gift shop, and we used a lot of all of these things here you can see on the back wall is from Nicholas Leinrider's gift shop pack. Also the things we have up here. I think some of the other things here are just from the DLCs or from the base game. Here you can see some other gift shops items. Here we have books, children's books, and normal books, and some other teddies here. But okay, we just jumped a floor, so we're just gonna go down here again. Not sure how that happened. Just gonna drop us down here, like that. Back here it's actually where the backstage areas, the staff can go out here and out that way. Here I really loved this gift shop pack from Nicholas Line Rider. As you can see, it brings in so much more of the stuff we know the gift shops always have. And I put in a lot of teddies because basically that's what I always look at a gift shop. I go straight for the teddies every time. As you can see, I have a collection. I tell myself it is a collection because I just can't stop getting more teddies or plushies. I think they only always cut. The centerpiece is custom, and I'm also pretty proud of that, to be honest. But let's go out here. It was originally my idea to take this open space and make it like a place like with some hot dog carts or very small stores where you could sell like local stuff, local grown vegetables, or local natural honey from farmers or something like that. That would be very cool, but I never actually did it because I just couldn't figure out how, and now I actually don't think anymore it fits in here, but it is why we have this giant open place. Again, here you can see into the habitat with it is some lowland anoas we have right here. Giant muntjac over there, and then I think that is the North-Sulawesi babiruska we have there. But it's pretty much all you have over here. Then we of course have the stairs down here in the middle. But over here at the end we actually have another way down, and it's because we want to accommodate everyone. So over here you can get down if you are in a wheelchair or anything like that. That's our fishies up there. And I think we're gonna go over here. Again, big open space, and we have our mountain up there. Again, we can see some mooses. Mises? How do you say moose in plural? Can look over here into our community garden. We have some garbage, I think it's called in English, and some carriage here. And over here we have our Amur leopard. I think we're gonna go up here because it is a tropical zoo, so it would be nice here to go up. It's not completely covered, as you can see here, just like do get down. But you would be in a little bit of shade, take a little minute away from the sun. We don't have any swimming leopards at this point, but it would just be a nice little shaded place to be in. I did try to keep that in mind doing the zoo, but I do think I did forget it sometimes. Over here you can see I'm very proud. Here we have our tomatoes all the way up against this fence, and on the other side here we have our Amur leopards, and you can actually see them both here. We have one here down in the cave, which again I really like building this way. I love habitats made like this where you have multiple levels all the way through, but it is it's something I like to build when I'm inspired to, but if I don't have that inspiration, then it will never get good. So I only build it when something hits me. But this is also a place where I have this level down here where the leopards can walk. When we come to the bears and the lions, you will actually see we have the same. but not where the bears and lion can go, but just to give in some space between the animals and the guests. Again, the emerald leopard is very, very beautiful and one of the rarest leopards out there, as far as I remember. And here you can see all of these different levels we built here. And especially with the flowers we got with the latest DLC, was that the DLC or the update? I'm not sure. But they do bring in so much beautiful light here. And especially the blue colors contrast the leopards. So it helps you see the leopards a lot. Then I feel like we will walk over here. Again, that's our community garden. This is actually where the entrance originally were. You can't even see it anymore. So I built the main entrance over there, and before I started building anything else, or I didn't build the main entrance, it was already there. And then I made the backstage area over here, which again you can't see at all. And I do think this adds to the tropical foresty feeling. Again, here you can see we have some of these flower beds in here with a lot of different flowers. So these aren't edibles over here where the other were. And over here you can actually, yeah, you can already see here we have the Bactrial camel and the Przewalski's horse. Keep in mind I built this before Frontier redid the sizing of the Bactrial camels. So I did go down in number after that because they take up so much more place now. But again, we have this different levels, and we have the stone all the way around here actually, also under me. You can see that there. And these beautiful creatures. Yeah, on the right we don't have that much, but we just have a gulby, I think it is. Isn't it gulby? Yeah, gulby slush we have in here, and then you can read something about the animals. And again, some nice shade to get out of the sun. And also, if you just been surprised by the rain, it does rain intermittently in some periods of the year here. So you can hide here. I do know that at the rain season, we wouldn't get that many guests probably. But if it's just a short shower, then we would be able to accommodate that. And we got multiple of these shades all the way around. Again, community garden, and down here we have just these flower beds, which I actually reuse through most of the zoo. Oh, he's looking at me. Yeah. They are quite beautiful. I'm not gonna take you to all of the backstage on this tour. You can see that in the speed bumps, and this is more like what the guest would see mainly on this tour. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna go under the shade here. And you can actually also see the animals through here. But it isn't the best view, of course. But if you want to kind of sneak up on the animals, then you could stand in here and take a photo without them noticing. And you can also see if they play down here, they have some food down here also. Again, educations. We have a lot of education here, and we have a lot of donation boxes. Here again, and we have a water hole over here. Here you can get out either to the Thailand community garden or bird houses here. I think it's the golden eagle we can see right there. So we will get to that in a minute. I promise you. I promise. I'm hopefully not gonna forget anything, but there is a lot to see around here. So here, you can go in here, and this is kind of the last angle, so you can get very good angles on these, and especially when, like me, who I like to photograph animals a lot, it's something I always done with my dad when we went to zoos and every place where we can find animals, and it's always been so amazing to work on that with my father. So therefore it means a lot to be able to move around to do this, and these animals aren't shy, so it isn't an issue for the animals at all. Oh, it's cute. Then let's go out here. We're not gonna go over to the water area yet. I think we're gonna go this way. And here again, the same flowers as we have in most of the zoo. Where I feel like the entrance is where you really want to address and really invite people in. So I feel like it's a good thing to carry this theme of the same plants through. But when we come to the end of the zoo, it's more focused on the animals and less on the pretty flowers. This is our bird thingy. I think we have 6 different birds. This is a... can't really remember here. Just gonna... this is the brown falcon. It's very beautiful. I think we have a few of them. We have one of deer, of course. And these 6 habitats is actually exactly the same, but they are different with the plants and the outlook, but they all have the same shape, the same roof, and then the same building here in the background. You can see it back here, but the plants, the stones, everything else is very different. So we have another one here drinking. I wasn't able to, because these are technically props. They are not... the game don't read them as animals, so therefore I wasn't able to get them an education board. So instead I used this one. So every time you see this, just imagine that's the information around the falcons or the animals. Then over here we also have a falcon, as far as I remember. We have them up here in the background. I think it's the peregrine. There, yeah, the peregrine falcon. So we have 2 up there. We actually also have one down here at the water. As you can see, it's the same water I used from the brown falcon. And this is a little more green, since they live more south compared to the brown falcon that lives in colder areas. Oh, we also have one up there. Then over here we have the... what do we have here? Oh, I think it's the fruit. Yeah, fruit, what's it called? Not that one. Yeah, the bird jumbo fruit dove. Yeah, long name. So it's have this very green areas because they live in tropical forest, where they live in places with a lot of plants. So if they see a predator bird, then they can go find a place and hide that way. Within big bushes, for instance, or actually also thorn bushes. They have these feathers that are very light, and they are able to, of course, fly with their wings out. But when they land, they can actually throw draw in their wings and use the body movement of making this very, very beautiful landing without their wings out, so they can get in very narrow places, compared with many other birds where when we see them land, they land in this big moving way. We also have a few of them over here. They are quite beautiful and they are bathing. Next on we have over here. I think it's an owl. Yeah, it's the snowy owl. And it has this very rocky area, and not the most rocky area, but owls do have these like to either live in caves or hollow trees. So therefore I built in both these rocky areas but also these bigger trees, and we also have a greener area in the back, but of course they still have the same birdhouse in back here, as you can see, to give them that opportunity. And this piece also here where they can get into. Over here we have another owl. And as you can see here, it's completely different. Again, because it is the... Ooh, what's the name? It's the lesser shorty owl, which actually lives quite a few places. But for instance, in forest, in fields, in both temperate and tiger biomes, as far as I remember. But again, here in Asia, so they got a lot of bamboo going on here, but also some of these deader trees, because that is mostly the areas where the owls will tend to and find a place to hide. Now yeah, we are here. So before we take the next birds, I will just take you down here in our community garden. Again, if you need to go to the bathroom, right there. And up here actually we have a solar panel placed up here. So that's pretty much what that's about. But down here in our community garden here, if you want to get your hand dirty and help the world out a bit, you can do that here. Down here in the middle, it is the community area, therefore you would be able to work here, for instance, on everything, but you can also buy a pot. Why does the game hate me? Okay, here. You would also be able to buy a pot over here, so you could get something you could pot, and then you could bring it home if that's what you wanted, of course. Okay, here you probably didn't notice, but we have a lot of these what's they called? What is those called? Gutters here, so we collect rainwater here, and as you can see we can store a lot, especially because we are in the tropical area of Asia, so it will rain a lot if some times of the year, and then we can collect it all and then we can use it here in the community garden for the rest of the year. Then we can go up here, and then these are a little bit different. The thought was that you could rent one and then you could bring your kids along in the fall, for instance. Then take care of the ground, make it ready, maybe through the winter even. Then later come and plant something in your box. You would, of course, have a sign so people could see it was yours. Then come through the summer, see whatever you put in your boxes grow, and then in the fall you could come and either eat it here or you could bring it home. Of course, we have a water hose and a water can, or what's it called, here, so you can take care of them. And we have 3 of these areas around here. So we have this one, and you can, of course, as long as it's no one have rented it yet, you can just go in and rent them. Then over here you can see we have more flowers, and that would probably mostly be flowers that are kind of rare. So you could go here, get help to plant them, and then you could bring them home if that's what you wanted, of course. And you wouldn't have to take care of them every day. Our staff would of course do that. And over here we also have a few. And then you could choose, especially with the vegetables, if you wanted to donate them to the animals around the zoo, or if you wanted to bring them home, of course. So that's pretty much what this is. Let's get back to the birdies over here. They are again, we're gonna go just around the corner here. Again, that's the Przewalski's horse and Bactrial camel over there we just looked at. Then this is the golden eagle, I feel. We have one up here. Let me just get through here and click on that. Yeah, bird golden eagle. So we have the big pride one up here, and I think we have one in the background here hiding in the house. This is bigger birds, so we wanted to put some plants in there that reflects where they come from, but at the same time, their wings are very massive, so they need space to be able to fly around. So that's why we don't put too many plants in here. And as far as I remember, it's an issue we also had over here. Oh, we are at a... I thought we had an eagle more, but this is a brown falcon. So we're actually back where we started here. Ta-da! And let's get in here to the water area. I'm not sure why this doesn't show the gharial, because that's where we are. And here we have the water area. We will get down there, but I feel like we should see them all from up here first, and then we can get down and see them all after this. Yeah, we have a lot to see today, and it's already been 40 minutes, so probably we will get through it all, but it will take some time. Here we have a big male here in the background, and the females here. We don't have any young here because we had a giant baby moon, so I gave everyone contraceptive. And after that, they don't want to breed anymore. Probably, so that's right. But we do have plenty of room here for the babies when they come. We have the stone area here again. The gharials are cold-blooded, so they aren't actually able to keep the heat on themselves, so they need a place where they can bask and absorb the heat. These stones, if you know, in the summer, then stones can become very, very warm, and that's because it holds in the heat very well. So by basking in the sun on the hot stones, they would heat the gharials up even faster. And the thing about gharials is it is the rarest crocodilian at this point, and one of the issues is actually that the males are so big and their legs are kind of really weak, so therefore they aren't actually able to carry themselves on ground. So the males will more likely just lay on the ground and then kind of just squish forward, kind of like a baby would before they are actually able to crawl. So you will see in areas where gharial bask these big kind of, yeah, it kind of looks like a big sled or something like that been pulled through the sand, because that's where their belly were when they tried to move around. On the other side here, you can see we have the flowers there. But we start here to see the giant panda habitat, which were all our last habitats. And we have some young here playing. We have a big habitat, and I actually didn't say this in the video, but I did choose to have all of these trees here because the pandas can actually be kind of shy, even though they are kind of funny and they love to play and all of this, but they can choose to suddenly don't want the attention anymore. So I thought it was important to just give them the opportunity to just walk in here and just hide in here instead of having to go all the way over to the house. I do both feed them here. You can see we have the big feeding area here, and then the two of these thingies. We have one here and we have one there. But we also are able to feed them over here so they can leave it. Or sorry, I have this issue where I want to walk on the roofs today apparently. Where we are able to feed them over here closer to the house. They don't really use the climbing over there that much, mainly because they have climbing trees here and they have this climbing, and on accident the entire building here are climbable, as you can see. So they use a lot of time to climb the building instead of the climbing enrichment I gave them. And then our little water hole over here, of course. When we turn around here, we are actually past the gharials now. You can see the gharials there. Why does this keep happening? Let me just try to get down here. There. You can see over here we have the gharials. Where they can go in here if they want some get away from the sun. And over here you can see the staff can actually peek through here to see into the habitat, and the same are they able to do over here where we have the Chinese alligator, which even though it's an alligator, they are so small. Do we have any on land at this point? Yeah, we have one here, but I think that's a baby. Yeah, that's a baby. 9.4 years old baby, but it's a baby. But they aren't that big. You can see we have some in the water here. You will be able to see a lot of them when we get down there, but I think it's an adult we have in the water here. I can't click on it, but I think that's an adult there. And we also have one over there. So we have plenty of them. I think we have around 7 or 8 adults. And they are also quite rare. And as far as I remember, they also only live in a very small part of China. Again, very, very beautiful creatures, and they are quite unique and quite cute because they aren't that big. I can just Chinese alligator. Yeah, here you can see they only grew to a meter and a half to 2.1 meter. So that's around 6.5 feet, around there. So they are quite small compared to what we think of when we think of alligators. I think we're gonna turn around again here because we reached the red pandas who share this house with the giant pandas. Again, I shouldn't have made the building climbable. That's my mistake. But I'm very, very happy with what we built over here. I made this giant climbing frame from them that they use some of the time when they want to, but they also just like to climb the house. Here you can see we have the same water as the giant pandas here, and we have a lot of flowers here because I just like this beautiful cold toned flowers contrasting with the red of the red panda color. They're quite beautiful, and it's again one of my favorite animals. Over here you can see we have some I'm standing on something. Oh, we have a baby here. I found a baby, sleeping baby, and we have a walking. We have a few babies over here. They're so cute. Very, very cute. And we tried to make it very Asian inspired with these two habitats, which are probably the most themed habitats that we have at this point, or at all. I'm not gonna build any more in here. I really want to build more in here, but my computer just can't take it more at this point, so I'm kind of sad about that. But let's walk down here, and we have the Mediterranean seal, which is a quite different seal in the way that not many seals actually live in warmer places, where the Mediterranean seal, of course, live in the Mediterranean and also live a lot of other places. And it also live in multiple continents, since the Mediterranean covers a few continents. They are quite beautiful, and they have this very contrasted dark color on the back and this very light color on the belly. A lot of seals have this lighter color on the belly, but the contrast between them aren't the same on all seal. Turning around here, we have the binturong and the proboscis monkey. And they are down here. Again, we have multiple layers here going up to where the backstage area actually is up here, and then they can go downwards and then all the way down here to their little house. Again, the proboscis monkey is the most aquatic monkey in the world, and they have a long story about their nose and their genitals, and we talked about that in the speed build, so I won't waste a 15-20 minute here of talking about it. I have talked about it, and I really recommend that videos because the facts there are very, very funny. I don't think I can find... Oh, we have a binturong back there. But I actually found one of the binturongs sleeping right here a lot, but they don't right now. They are very difficult to find at times, and I think we have one there. And they are also quite difficult to get to reproduce. I think I had one baby overall in this future life project. But I don't have any more right now. Feeding time, and again, they are so cute, and they have the water area there. And that's, as you can see here, the water level in the next habitat is higher, so we have glass here in between. We are gonna go over here, and then again we have the Mediterranean seal over here. Sorry, it's the Mediterranean monk seal. And monk seals is a subspecies of seals, where we also have the Hawaiian monk seal, and I don't remember the third one. I feel like there's 3 of them. But they have their little house here, and then we have this area in between habitats where they could isolate a seal that got hurt, or they got a new seal that they want to introduce to the group, but haven't fully done that yet, and they can see it here, but they can't look into it. We're gonna go over here, and again, now we can see some binturongs here. But over here we have the Indian elephant and the Indian rhino. And here, that's why the water level over here is higher, because you need some amount of water to actually water or let an elephant swim, even though the Indian elephants are smaller. In general, the Asiatic elephants are all smaller than the African ones, but the Indian one is one of the smaller. Yeah, I think we're gonna go over here to the restaurant, and here here you can sit, and if you bring your own snack, just need a break, you can sit over here. We can also get through here, and you can again look at the binturongs and the proboscis monkey from over here. We have a high fence here because we don't want the kids to have ice cream or something over here, and we just don't want them to drop it down, since especially a lot of monkeys would eat anything that got dropped down there. But here you can also kind of see how high the levels go over here, which again, they can go in the back if they don't want you to look at them, and again, they can also go in right under here. They have a house down here. Then we have the bathroom, and we have the restaurant, and then we can actually also go upstairs. And I'm not gonna walk too much around here. I just really like this view. And of course, you can sit where you want. If you sit on this side, you can see the entire zoo from here. And if you sit on the other side, you can see the Asian jungle. Pretty much. A lot of bamboo. And I feel like it would be amazing if we had a lot of bamboo around here, since we have a lot of bamboo eating animals around here. I'm gonna drop us down again here. And I do feel like some zoos at this point actually are starting to have field and farms around the zoos to be sustainable, with food for at least some amount of the animals. We have a female elephant over there. I do feel like we have a baby also somewhere. I think we have 5 adult elephants and 3 adult rhinos at this point. Here you can see the dipped. I actually didn't talk too much about their habitat go all the way around the restaurant area, but it's more like, again, they're not shy animals, but we want them to be able to be reintroduced to the wild at some point. So we don't want them to be all here where they are completely surrounded by guests all the time. Then we can go over here, and we have another seal habitat, and that's the ringed seal and the harbor seal. And the ringed seal is actually what we in Danish call spotted seal. They live here in Denmark. They also live all the way up to Greenland, and they have these triangular claws, which is because they live places like Greenland, Iceland, they're around, and there's a lot of ice, and they need to breathe. They actually need to go on ground sometimes, and when they dive, they can dive under the ice, so to make sure they don't get stuck under ice and drown, which would be kind of stupid. They have these very strong triangular claws, so they can claw their way through the ice from underneath and get up on the surface that way. Again here, now we have all of the rhinos here. Again, the male here is very, very big. It is actually extra skin, too much skin on the Indian rhino that make it wrinkle up and looks kind of like an armor, especially on the male. Over here you can see it looks like an armor. It's just because it has too much skin, and it just happened to wrinkle in that exact way. Again, which is a weird thing. Here, of course, the ringed and harbor seal also have an outside area. And the water over here, if you compare it to some of the other water areas around here, is very dark, and it's because it is to illustrate the water here up in the north, where it's very cold and we don't have those corals, we don't have that much light in the water, where in a lot of tropical areas the water is very clear, so we get a lot of dark light down there. We have the corals, we have the blue water, and it looks completely different. So I wanted to make that appearance here, where over here you can see the water, it's much more blue. Now we come to Kitty Cat House, and here we have this snow leopards. We should have some in there, but again, they can actually go up here and hide if they want to. I think we have something moving here. I did here, even though the habitats are quite small, prefer to give them a lot of foliage to make them hide if they want to. Cats overall are kind of shy, and that goes again for every single cat habitat. I wanted to do the same as I did for the bird habitats here, where we had the birds that had kind of the same habitats. Of course, the sizing here are different, because we have a big difference between the size of the cats and the number of the cats also. But I really want the habitat to inflict and really show which cats we have in here. Here we have the beautiful snow leopard. Ooh, we have kitten back there, it seems like. We will see it from the other side when we get around here. Then the next... That's not right. Ta-da! I wouldn't put the lions in there, to be honest. Then we have the fishing cats, which are one of the only animals in captivity that have been observed to eat their or wash their food. So if you give them, for instance, fish, or you give them other meats, they eat fish in nature and small bird and bird eggs and stuff like that, and vertebrates, lizards, frogs, and so on. But they do in captivity, if you give them any kind of meat, they will drag that down to their water and then throw it in the water and kind of look like they either wash their meat, or it looks like they're trying to catch it in the water before actually eating it, which both is a part of this, where we know with a lot of cats where they like to play with their food, but it still also is quite unique to choose to do it in water. Let's move on. They are quite cute. We have one in here. I think we have 2 adults. I don't think we have any kittens. And then we actually get to the Bornean clouded leopard. But before we do that, I just want to look at the Indian elephants and rhinos again from over here. That's the male coming up here. And again, they need to use their muscles because we have a hill going up here. And it's the last look we will get of them. And again, they have a big house there underneath to really utilize having this space under the big building of the restaurant. We have a little baby elephant. And here again, you can sit, you can have a drink. Again, everything in this zoo is free. So please do enjoy. And again, here you have a nice view of the entire zoo, even though it isn't as in peace or isolated as it is up from the restaurant. Here people do pass by all the time. But let's see if we can look at the Bornean clouded leopard. The Bornean clouded leopard is actually one of 2 clouded leopards that used to be the same subspecies. It's the Bornean clouded leopard and the Sumatra clouded leopard, and it's only a few years ago that they actually was recognized as 2 different leopards. One of the differences are actually the dental, or the teeth are different, but also very small difference in the spotting, where before they were recognized as one species or subspecies, again, of the clouded leopard, which is a subspecies of leopard, and so on. Leopards overall, we have so many different things from. And again, they are actually not in the back able to climb up on the building, but we have in here actually a tunnel going in here from the staff can go in here and they can jump on top of that to jump up and relax. All of the cats are able to jump up in the background, so they don't have to stay down here where the guests can see them. I did actually here with the cats, when we go around here, if you can see here, I change up a little bit when we go in here. So the foliage changes, the tree changes, we have a little more of the red bamboo here instead of the yellow one we had before. Again, we are in a tropical area, so it is limited how many different tropical Asian flowers and plants to have, but I tried. In here we have the elusive Maltese tiger, which is a tiger that we don't really know much about. A theory is that it's a color variation of the Chinese tiger, since they live the places they've been seen the most. Another theory is that it's a whole new subspecies of tiger, and another theory is basically that someone saw the tiger in the night and it blue, so now we think it's blue. But the first tale about them are more than 100 years old, as far as I remember, so therefore it is weird that so many people should have seen them in the night and think they were blue. We have kittens also. They are quite cute, big here compared to the mud of the Chinese leopard. The Chinese leopard mud are smaller than the tigers from the game, where the Maltese tiger are made bigger. Again, here we are actually at the end of the zoo, or the furthest away from the entrance. And as you can see, the Maltese tigers got the biggest habitats because it is the biggest animal. They also like to swim and climb. And here you can actually see where they can climb up here. But it isn't really an issue because it's a bigger habitat, so there's much more place, or much more down there. Let's get over here where you can see the foliage change again, and that's because we are in our leopard's habitats. And again, not really. We have the Indian leopard mud, which are used to have Indian pandas. So we have the Indian panda here, and over here we have a Sri Lankan leopard. So it's actually two different subspecies of leopards we have here. They do stay there and swim. I don't know why, but this habitat don't get up off the water at all. So I'm not really sure why. Going down here, I really love the view of all of these beautiful pink purpley flowers. In here we have a stone they can lie on. We have a lot of climbable trees in here, of course. Again, in the middle they have a leverage they can jump up on. And over here we have the lions, and that's the northern lion. I would like to use the Asiatic lion, but the mud for the Asiatic lion was outdated. So instead here we have the northern lion, who also lives in parts of Asia. I think it's a very small population in India, and there's actually still, even though the genes of the Indian northern lion and the African northern lion are the same, there are a small difference in appearances. I don't really remember quite what they were, but there are some slight differences there. And they also like to swim a lot. We have a fairly big pride in here. It's not like 30, but I think we have 15 overall, both adult and non-adult. And remember not to feed the animal here, not to drop anything down in the water. Going down here to the leopards again. As you can see here, I did decide to have this very light out here and then very dark in here, because leopards are very shy again, and they do like to stay in the dark part of the jungle. So I wanted to have that appearance here. Again, we have the northern lion over here. And they have a lot of different food enrichment out here. As you can see here, we have even the lion feeder. We have the pumpkin, we have the zebras. Even though zebras don't belong in Asia. And over here we are back to the snow leopard again, who have this very snowy area, and I chose to pull the snow all the way out here again, so we all around in the kitty house here have this feeling that the outside of the habitat is a part of the inside of the habitat, and changes along. And I know the snow leopard don't like this amount of foliage, but it is to give them peace from the all of the guests out here. Again, beautiful lions. I really like the view from up here, and that building or shared building with the Himalayan brown bear. And I did actually intend to make another bear, but I really wanted to use the lions also, and they didn't fit in kitty house. I didn't plan out this entire zoo at once. I did it step by step, if we can say it that way. But in small portions. For instance, I knew I wanted to work with cats, so that's when I chose to use 2 weeks on looking at cat mods, and then I chose out from what I saw there. But I didn't really found a bear that fit that well. Again, here that's the harbor and the ring seal that we have here. They also have a stone area here, but not like the others, which have the stone areas to bask in the sun and heat up. Over here we have a cooler system. More coolers. We both have one here and one under us here to keep it cooler. And also because they both live in places where we have a lot of rocky areas, a lot of these what's it called, cliffs or something like that. Moving on, if you just want a last view here, you can see the inside of the lion's habitat, and over here we have this sea otters, my favorite otters. And yeah, I think it's the biggest otter in the world, and they do have these different feet compared to other otters, where they are much more thin. Like they do still have toes, but they are very webbed, which help them to swim a lot more. And they do actually don't need to be on water, since they don't need to be on land. They do go on land, they play on land, they do breed on land, so they need that. And they are also born on land, but even when they're small, their mom will bring them out in the water, and then they will wrap them in seaweed and other things she find above water in the ocean, and then wrap the baby in that, and then she can dive and find food while her baby is floating in this seaweed cradle above water. I think it's kind of genius. It doesn't seem that safe though, but it's kind of genius to kind of build a little cradle it can lie in and stay there before it actually learn to swim itself. Yeah. they are quite beautiful with their lighter faces. They are not completely white, but they are lighter, and it's actually difference. The As far as I remember, the Canadian ones are lighter in the face than the Asian ones, even though it again is the same subspecies, but they normally don't breed across that big ocean because it is limited how far away from the coastal line they swim. They do, however, swim further away from the coast when they know a storm is about to hit, because if they are caught in the storm, which throws these big waves at the cliffs, then they would be killed quite fast, sadly. So here, but they live up north, and again, that's why we have these kind of colder area trees. We have these kind of seaweed in between the stone. We have this kind of pine. I think it's a pine. Yeah, Scotch pine tree to stay with this colder theme. Turning around here, we have the Himalayan brown bears. Again, a colder living animal, and it's quite beautiful. It's not here, but we have a breeding pair, but I do believe the female is pregnant. She haven't given birth yet. So here is what I talked about with the Amur leopard, where we have this down here, where the animals aren't able to get down here, but it's just a precaution, so this fence wouldn't be able to hold out the bears or the lions or the wolves that we have over here. So that therefore we have this extra area, and if it should happen that one of them fall down, then we can get it up again. But they, of course, most animals won't drop down a place where they can't get up. If we go... Okay, we're gonna look here fast and then we will go back around. So this is the Asian small-clawed otter, which I think most of us fell in love with when we got the Wetlands DLC. And then we have the Eurasian otter also. Keep in mind that Eurasian doesn't mean European. Eurasia is the piece of land that most of Europe and most of Asia is placed on. So it's more like others that live on this piece of land and not others that live in Europe. But we have plenty of space here for them to play around. And I actually also made this baby pool here where it isn't that deep. Just because I thought it would be fun to see them sit there. And that's also normally where they would catch their food down here. And then they would drag it up here and eat it still in the edge of the water. The game doesn't do that, but they would do that in real life. I feel like the mud bath is too big for them though, but Frontier only added the one. Then jumping over here, we have the Komodo dragon, and they got this big area. Mainly because I had an area I didn't know what to do with. But they also just live in these areas where they kind of live in between the tropical forest and the desert areas. So I made this area down here very deserty with the rocks, what's they called? Sulfra, something like that. And the more dry plants. And it would also be, we also have a feeding area here. We also have a feeding back there, but when we get around here you will see that over here I made a more tropical area to give them that feel. This is also where the ride ends. They didn't get out yet. Oh, over there is that's our female. She's called Mira. And it's quite funny actually if you want to see that speed build, we have a lot of bears swimming around here. It looks beautiful when they do. I think it's the male we can see sleeping back here. And we have a 2-level indoor, so you can see the top of the door here. So the staff can actually see them back there without you can see the staff. Are you going for a swim? Please go for a swim. I love to see the bear swim. Yay! And this kind of habitat also gives us the opportunity to really see them swim from beneath, which I also think is very cute. The fins here are custom, and I just want to show, I really like the way it looks. I can hear some wolves. So yeah, they are out. The wolves are very much either all out or none of them are out, and that's how that is. They share the water with the bears. And again, here we have this in between where they won't be able to jump over. I know it looks like it's too short. I know it. I wanted to fix it, but then I had to move the entire habitat, so I didn't. They are going in now, but they are fit out here, they play out here, and the area here is very big, and the Indian wolves both live in, as far as I remember, they live in mountains, but they live in that area where the start of the snowy area, and then a little beneath that, so they would both like a very cold snowy area, which I placed all the way back here. We also have coolers in their cave, and then it's a little bit hotter out here, but I also hide the coolers around here to make sure that they don't get too warm. I personally think the Indian wolf is quite unique, and I really like to use it here. Initially, I didn't think about it at all to put in here. I thought about I want a big, like a tundra wolf or something, a very fluffy wolf. But I think this, when I keep looking at it, it becomes more and more beautiful, to be honest. And I think we have 5 different colorations of them. Here you see they don't really look the same, which gives them a lot more of personality. Again, here we have another angle of the Komodo dragons area, and we have over here, that's just down to a backstage area, and here you can see the Komodo dragons are able to get out of the sun, and that it is one-way glass, so they can't see us, even though it looks like it's looking straight at us. Going over here, we have the Chinese pangolin. Sorry. And according to the game, they don't have any hard shelter. I bought these based on pig houses we have here in Denmark. They would normally be actually just around this size, to be honest. It's 2 by 2 meters. Sorry, 4 by 4 here. I think they would actually be a little bit smaller. But a mama pig would have like a field area and just one of these houses in the middle to sleep in. They do have floors though, to isolate through the winter. So you would have something in between the frozen. Over here you can see we have so beautiful otters. And the swimming animation here works just so beautiful. You can see we have a little bit of corals going on, but we kept that very minimum. Again, because they live up north. We have more corals over here, but I did try to limit it still. We have a lot of educations here all around, and right now it's the ringsail and harbor seal it's going on with, but I think the sea otter actually is the only one down here that doesn't have these seating areas and animal talks. But again, they swim beautiful here. I had issues all around with all these other water areas where the game couldn't really calculate if they had enough of deep water area. You can see right now they don't dive, so I guess the game don't think they have enough deep water, but sometimes they do. Before, when we saw them from the top, a big part of them were diving, so it goes backwards and forwards. Let's go over here again. It's the Mediterranean monk seal, and they do dive. And here I went in and did something different with spacing. You can see in here it seems so much bigger because I made this area over here, even though the water area actually is basically the same. But again, it's the same corals as I also use, or the same coral pack as I also use at the beautiful. And it is a blueprint. I have the link on the videos. On every time I use this blueprint, I link it in the videos, so you can go and use it because it's beautiful. Here we are at the Chinese alligators, which, as I said before, they are quite small but quite beautiful. Again, the light here makes it seem way bigger than it actually is. And let's see this little filler here. I really like when they have this light underneath because it makes it more recognizable where they are. I have a lot of them swimming around. I know they are more difficult to see with all of these, but it is natural that they would kind of like to hit in beneath or in between that. So I really wanted it to be here, and I placed it in. You can see I don't place any here. It's because we have the bridge for the keepers to go over to the habitat here, so the sun wouldn't shine here, so the flowers wouldn't bloom here. That's why we only have it here and there. Let's go over here. We have the gharials, and as you can see, they are way bigger. Their habitat is also the biggest down here. Also with that big water area you could see from up top. We have a few males and then a few more females. And I really tried to build something different with the corals in every single habitat, but it was quite difficult to keep making something new with the same. I also used the Komodo dragon habitat to build in between these, to have a palette cleanser, because after the seals, I have built the same kind of for the otters and the seals, and I needed a break in between to cleanse my mind and not fall in the thing where you can just keep doing the same over and over. At some points, all of your habitat will look the same if you do that. So I chose to make a habitat with totally different requirements to pull me out of that, and I'm back into this, and I think it was a very good choice. And then here again we have the Asian small-clawed otter and the Eurasian otters, and they actually have two windows back here because their habitat is very not that deep compared to the others, so here they have a longer habitat instead. And I can just sit over here. Therefore, they also have two seating areas here, and then the animal talk in the beginning. Oh, just gonna try and get up here again. Yeah. You can also clearly see that the corals are way cleaner here, where it's in the dark, compared to when we go over here in the light. It becomes more milky looking. Again, I put a lot of enrichment down here, both the food enrichment but also toys, to make them want to play around here, and all of the balls, and I also think the block of ice and just everything down here, because the funny thing about otters is to see them swim. they look so funny on land, especially the babies. But the way their body moves when they swim is quite unique. So that was the entire tour around over here. Apologize if it feels like I go too fast, but it's just like I don't want to bore you too much by looking at the same time. Over here we have some educational signs about different stars, plants. Not sure what that is. Giant isopod. Different undersea creatures, corals, and such. And I feel like that would be like rubber things here. It would be fake things. So you could touch them and try and maybe pick them up, since we have so many of them here. It's as an educational area, also to utilize this in the middle. So let's go up again. Oh, I put all of these lines in to emulate stars. But if we go to the night, it works better than through the day, clearly. Also the underwater. A lot of the habitats are difficult to see here in the night, but the color of the water is beautiful in the night. Did that make sense? The things in the water are more difficult to see in the night, but the color of the water is beautiful. Yeah, the glitching here, I'm sorry, but I did have to do that to make it all make sense. We have a lot of educators here, both because we have all of the animal talks down there, but also because we have just a lot of habitats, so they also walk around. Because of the last update, I decided to just have a lot of educators walk around all the time, but I don't feel like they actually do what it was intended to do. Again, the birdhouse here, and then we're gonna go this way around. Oh, I forgot to mention the owls are based on this side. And it's because I have all of this foliage, these tall trees, the bushes, to isolate it so they don't get too much sun, since they are night active. And here they would be disturbed through the day. So to not disturb them too much, I made all of that. But now we are actually at the shop corner. So here you can get some coffee, some maybe an umbrella if you need to, some soda. We have pizza. We have again, what's it called? Had Fantastic, just a memento, gift shops, but we don't have anything on the shelves. So I feel like it would be something where you could go and maybe put in that I want this, and then when you go out you can pick it up then. But this is also where our big tour start, or what's it called, gondola, floating gondola ride starts. So let's see if we can first of all start at the start. Okay. Okay. This one, and then we're gonna change over here to the middle, I feel like. I'm gonna stop the time a few times doing this so we can actually look at what we are having. But this is the building. It's very basic. I tried to make a Asiatic theme of it, but I don't feel like I really reached that, but I tried. So the first one here is the habitat we have seen the most, actually. It's again the giant muntjac, the lowland anola, and the North Sulawesi barberosa, which most of them are actually quite shy, but here they do have a lot of space, so they have the opportunity to hide. They also have these firm shelter houses where they can go in to, and some of them are actually turned away from the guests, so they can hide all the time if they want to. But are we? Yeah, we are starting here now. And as you can see right away, we have some anola down there. We have a shitting anola. We have, I'm just gonna stop it here. Yeah, we have basically anolas all around us. Over there we have a water hole. You can't see it, but it's behind the buildings. When we reach the stones, that is the barrier to the next habitat, and some of the habitats are easier to see than others. Just gonna move us over here so you maybe can see. Over there is the playground. And we're gonna move again. I don't think, yeah, you can see the water down there a little bit. It comes here. There we have the North Sulawesi babirusa. We have quite a few more than that this animals would actually like. But we also have a lot of space here. I do feel like some of these habitats were made very big compared to others. Again, in there is actually where the staff goes in. They can go in under the mountain where they have the basics in there, and then they can go over there. And then we have the main building there. So up here on the top of the mountain, once again, we have the moose, the sequentakin, and the shrew. And they are actually three very different animals, but they live the same places. Again, all of the animals here on this tour, or these four big mountains areas, are either hoofs, deers, bovines, and so on. And the guests actually don't like that you can see it here, and then we go out to the other habitats and get back here on the other side, because then you see the same animal twice. But the thing is, though, you don't get the best view here. You can see up there and over here. And depending on where you placed in the car here, or gondola, or what's it called, you get a little bit better view here in the background, but that's pretty much all the view you're gonna get there. That's this sequentakin. But down here we have the onager. And let's just get around here. Again, we have some desert out there, which I'm really proud of. I don't know why, because it took 5 seconds to make. There are small differences actually you can find in the onager and the Persian onagers. But I wouldn't be able to pinpoint from here which one is which. Again, the Persian onager is very, very... I don't remember if they're endangered or critical endangered, where the onager is vulnerable as far as I remember. But it's mainly because the onager have several subspecies, where the Persian onager is one of them. So therefore, again, it's the top you can see here with the moose, this sequentakin, and the shrew. And the shrew is the small ones you can see peek out once in a while. But that's pretty much all we have for the onagers over here. Just want to see if we can... Yeah, here you can see the view here. I was just wondering, no. Yeah, over here we had this very natural... I wanted this very natural change between the onagers and the bigger bovines on the other side. So I just put in some bushes, some stones, and some plants to cover this in between and make it as fence. We have this metal fence all the way around the water here, because the onagers do swim. And over here we reach the more tropicals again, so we put the forest in around. We don't have anything in the forest, it's just palm trees basically. But here you can see we start to reach again the wild water buffalo, Indo-Chinese banting, and the cobra. I think we're gonna pause there. Again, we have the house there carved into the mountain almost. And over there we have the water area. That's where we went out and watched stayed on the bridge earlier. And then we have all of these beautiful, beautiful animals here. And then back here, this is why we also have food enrichment over here. Because we will go around here and then back up, so you will actually get another view at the onagas in a minute. Again, some places in this card will, gondola will be way better than others, but that's just how it is sometimes. But I do like the feeling here where you get into the trees and you feel like kind of you going into the trees, and then you just go upwards. And here you can see the onagas back there, and you can again see, that's also why I wanted to make that very natural between the animals here, because I didn't want a big block, because you get a good view of it from here. And we can also look over there again. Everything above the stones there are the moose, shrew, and sequentakin. Again, I pronounced that so many times in this video, and I'm pretty sure not all of them were right. And that's also why I thought it important to make the desert out there, but it clearly didn't do it far enough. And here you can also see we get a much better view of the top of the mountain. Here you can see a shrew and a moose down there, a moose over there. We have a sequentakin calf running away there. The big beast there with the white back is the sequentakin. And up here you can see all of the foliage is placed as a way colder area. It's the top of the mountain, we have the snow, it's cold. All of these three animals live in higher altitude. Not all of them. They can live in higher altitude. For instance, the moose can live in mountains, but they can also live just flat on the ground. But because some of them may be released in high altitude, it's important to train them to use the muscles to actually get moving uphill, downhill all the time. And here you get the big view. Again, we are just above the whitewater buffalo, the Indo-Chinese banting, and the cobra. And over there again we have the anoa, lowland anoa, this is North Sulawesi barbarossa, and the giant muntjac. And here you can also see into the house. Now we're gonna float over these rocks, and I'm actually haven't checked if we're going through them or not. I hope we're not going through them. But this is the Indian wolf habitat. So here you can see we reach that in between the trees here. And they are very beautiful. We've been very lucky that they've been outside both times we've been here. And then on the other side here, maybe you can get a little glimpse of the Himalayan brown bears, if they're out. Yeah, we have a swimmer down there. And then we reach the Komodo dragon over here. and just the edge of the Asian smoked otter and the Eurasian otter over there. So I really hope you liked this ride. I really put a lot of thought into it. It wasn't actually the plan that we would have anything that wasn't hoofs, bovine at that deers and so on. But apparently I couldn't just spin the ride the way I wanted, so therefore it turns out to be a little bit longer. But I really liked the way it ended out anyway. So we're gonna jump out here. I'm just gonna place us down here. Originally we were getting out on the other side, and then we would go around and then come up here where we came up before. So we already seen that actually. So now I think we're gonna go this way around. Here we actually have on the left again the North Sulawesi babirusa, the lowland and Noah, and the giant muntjac. I think it's the giant muntjac we have over there. And we have this double fence to give the animals a little bit more peace. Again, they are shyer animals. We are placed, however, higher than that fence, so we should actually be able to look over it. Here you can see that the males of the lowland and Noah have lighter horns. And the giant muntjac, the males have horns, the females don't. And North Sulawesi babirusa, I think you can recognize because it's the only pig in here. But it also has these kind of weird looking things that you'll think are horned, but it's actually teeth growing out through the skin, not through the mouth, but through the skin up here, and growing out. So for me it felt like something that would hurt like shit. But apparently it's just something that happens. Over here we have the simongs and the Bonian orangutan. And we are placed pretty high up, but it is the plan over here that this would be the climbing side. So we have climbable trees. We also have some toys, of course. And then we have this climbing enrichment going on that they don't really use that much. I thought they would climb like all the time. They don't. Going a little bit down here. Here you can also see this is probably the best view of this habitat over here. I don't feel like keep saying what the animals are. I feel like I have said it 15 times. So we have the water back there, and here you can see the houses. Some of them are turned so they can actually hide in there. And the ride goes up there. Oh, we have a piano. Pianist? What is it called? A person that play piano. But you can also see the Bonian orangutans here. Going a little bit further here, we have a waterhole. Here. And we actually made this little cage with what's it called? It's not a sink, it's just a thing where you can turn it and get clean water. Because orangutan and simongs, they aren't that clean. They clean their fur all the time, but they still poop in the water. So we have a lot here to clean it out every single day, maybe twice a day, to keep it kind of clean and beautiful. Here you can see I like the way the sun just reached the mountain here. Again, it's pretty much the same over here. It's very bare, because it's what the animals over here like, apparently. Here we have, on this side, we have the information about the animals. Then over here we have a commercial, and then some other indication. And then we have one of these thingies, and then we actually get the same over here, but then we have the benches over here, where over here we have just these benches, where over here it's these tables. So again, if you bring your own lunch, you can sit here and enjoy it. Even though it's close to apes, which always smell, as you know, you can still get that in here. It's still close to the habitat, but still far enough away that you don't feel disgusted. In here, under here, you can see they have a little house in here, and it's quite big, to be honest, way too big for the animals in here, but it just, you can get a view from this side, all around, the other side, all around, and then in the middle, so they needed some place where they can go and lay down and get some peace, and they actually always go into the furthest away that they possibly can. You can look in from this side, but I have bamboo on the other side, so you can't look from over there. So they always lay in that end over there for some reason. Over here, it's our community garden again, where you can get out, and over here you can go out if you want to get out there, or to the toilet, or the birds, or the Persvalskis horde, Bactrial camel. And here you can actually, you can't see it, but this is what the owls are right behind. So you can see we did a lot here to get them some peace. Wow, we need a gardener here to clean up, clearly. So here we're back at the food corner, or the shopping corner, or what to call it. But I think we should go down here in the middle. And this is also where the keepers get in. It does, however, take a little finicky work with the barriers to be able to actually do this, because they can actually climb over here. We have this going up here. I think you can see it. Can't you see it? Yeah, there. So they can actually climb over here. They also actually sometimes poop on this roof. So the barrier actually goes to there, and then over here, and then back up, so they can do that. We have again a lot of enrichment here, and here you can better see them from the ground. Over here it was a bit more open area, so here you can see them climb down here, where here you would see them climb higher, and you would see them in the trees. I really like to give them those two very, very different opportunities. Here we have the Simon, we have a bunny, and both a Simon and the bunny and orangutan coming in a minute. Or you just stop there. Yeah, you just stop there. But here you can get quite close to them. The glass here aren't one-way glass. They can also see you, because a lot of apes and monkeys actually like to see you. And will come over and engage with you if they get the opportunity. So I really, yeah, this is also one of the habitats I'm quite proud of. I'm not sure if you can hear that on me. So yeah. And here again we have the water area. We have food enrichment both over here and over here, to make sure that they don't fight over it. Here you can also look into where their little house there, and here you can see that it's covered over here, so you wouldn't be able to see it at all. Then here we get back up to the same building that we were in before, and then we actually get out here to the main entrance, or only entrance. So that was actually the habitats. Now my plan was actually to ask you guys if there were anything you could wanted to see now. that we could go back in. Maybe you wanted a different angle on a habitat or something like that. But I can't really connect to the chat. I don't know why. Maybe I can. I'm just checking right now if I can see it on my phone. Because I really, if there anything you really want to see, I would like to show you. Maybe I can. I don't need time over there. Okay. Hey Prim. Hi. I'm not sure how long time it is since you wrote to me, but thank you so much. Hi. Anyway, if any of you wants to see anything, then please live chat now. I just went a minute, and if none of you say anything, then I think it's we are done. If there's nothing you want to see. And while we do that, why don't I just jump back over here? Can I place that so I can actually see it? Yeah, like that. I don't know why my computer won't show me the live chat. But I'm gonna do it. I think overall, the thing I actually am most proud about was the community garden, because I feel like it was quite unique compared to many other things I have done on my channel and I have seen other people do. But overall, I feel like the Amur leopard was quite unique. I do feel like, however, I kind of stole that idea. Not that I made this as a replica, but I made it as something. I saw another YouTuber build something in this area and then felt like if I have done it, I would have changed this and this. And then I thought, well, then I can just do it. I do, however, always mention in my live in my speed builds in there, if there's anything I don't know, sorry, if there's something I have stole or something I got creative with or something I got the idea from, I always mention it in the live build, what's it called, speed builds. But I can't remember right now who made it. But I did it differently. The water area wasn't a thing, and I made more levels. And I also decided to make this climbable so they don't need to go all the way around. And they didn't have this down here. So it was basically the hills down here. It was basically that idea I stole. So when I say I steal an idea, I would never just steal an idea and make exactly the same. But I do feel like one of the reasons why we make YouTube is that we really want to show others what we build and show others, inspire others to do stuff. So I don't see it as a bad thing when we actually do this. I just want to show you the Persian onaga and the onagas out here, because we only had a second to look at it, to be honest. But this is a whole different side of the zoo. Again, over here we have the entrance, so you could actually see some of it from out there. I showed that in the beginning. But yeah, we have all of these around here. Yeah, we have a lot of them, and it's because I think I have 15 of one of them and 10 of the other, because they look so much alike. It seems like we have a lot. Then on the top here, again, Sekun Takin, the big fellow up there. We have the moose, and then we have the little fellow down there, which is the Chiru. And again, animations here aren't the best when they go up and downhill. Here you can see some of the hills are really steep, but they can actually go all the way from up here, down here. We have the water over here. I think I showed that before. And then they can go all the way over here, where I hide where the keepers go in. You can't actually see this at all when you go on the ride because you get past here. Yeah, it's actually, I feel like that's all I wanted to show you. Everything else, I feel like we got a good view of. I just want to see here if the bears are out. Yeah, we have swimming bears still. But I really try when I build to make habitats different. Because there are some YouTubers that actually were, I'm not gonna mention names, that was the first YouTubers that really got me into building for Planet Zoo and really engaged with that, which builds amazing habitats. But over times it were the same and the same and the same and the same. Where I also found other YouTubers where they keep doing different things and doing also the same things but in different ways. And that's also why what I really wanted to show out here. You can see both with the underwater viewing, the kitty house and the bird house. I built the same things technically for every single animal, but I really tried to custom it to the animal. So even though it's kind of the same habitat and it's maybe kind of the same animal, not with the underwater, of course, but you still get so much different stuff in there, so you don't feel like you're looking at the same and the same and the same. I feel all of us have been to zoos, not that much anymore, but mostly 10-20 years ago. A lot of zoos have multiple habitats that were exactly the same, and it takes some of the experience. A lot of us love to see the animals, love to see the especially the baby animals, but a big thing of it is that the animal stands out in a way where you feel like you visit the animal at its home and not at a cage. And I think that shows up a lot in my videos. I hope that shows up a lot. Anyway, when we stop this ride here we are on, which I really love this ride, but when we end Future Life today, we still have a lot going on. I have my live stream zoo, which is Railway Zoo again, which is not a speed build, is live streams where you can see me going over things. So you can jump in there, you can ask live about different things, because sometimes I don't explain my builds in my speed builds and more talk about the animals. So when I make my live streams, I more explain the building part of it, and I think that's also a really fun thing to talk about. So it's something different. We will also make a new speed build zoo, which will start this Wednesday, where I start building the main entrance, which will be a handful, but I'm really looking forward to it. I won't tell you too much about it yet, though I don't actually have a name for it yet. So if you have some idea to inspire me, please tell me in the comment section below. Again, this video will stay up, so if you aren't live right now, don't worry, you can see this when you want to. But anyway, we have that going on. So we have live stream, we have speed builds, and then of course I have all of my mods, where we roughly look at 8 mods a week. Again, I don't expect you to watch every single one of my videos because I put out a lot. I would really like it if you want to see my live streams and speed builds, but my mod videos are more made for when you're looking for a mod to use, then you can go in and look at it. I don't expect you to see every single mod video every single week if you don't feel like it. And that's just honest. And overall, I don't expect you to see any of my videos if you don't want to. That's up to you. Anyway, it doesn't seem like you have any requests now, so yeah. I'm honestly just so happy you are here. I'm just so happy for everyone that watched this in the future, and I'm just so happy to keep doing what I'm doing here on my channel. So you know the drill, guys. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again, either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys.